वेलकम टू प्रिंस स्टूडेंट हाउस। स्टूडेंट्स, अभी 27 फैब को स्किल टेस्ट हुआ है पंजाब और हरियाणा हाई कोर्ट का। तो हमारे स्टूडेंट्स का रिस्पांस अच्छा मिला है। कुछ यूट्यूबर्स जो स्टूडेंट हैं हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल को फॉलो करते हैं, उनको फ़ोन भी आया कि अच्छा उन्होंने लिखा है और सही समय पर टाइपिंग हुआ, और मैं समझता हूँ अच्छा रिजल्ट उनका आएगा। और हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल पर जो सीपीटी क्लासेज हैं, जो नेक्स्ट में अभी स्टूडेंट का रोल नंबर अपलोड हुए हैं 6 मार्च को एंड 13 मार्च को सीपीटी उनका है, और उसके रिजल्ट के तुरंत बाद आपका स्किल टेस्ट फिर होगा। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि आप लगातार प्रैक्टिस कीजिए, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिस कीजिए, और हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल से लीगल डिक्टेशंस आपको मिलेंगी। वो हर स्पीड में 80, 100, 120, 140 आप उनको जरूर अपने लेवल के हिसाब से लिखिए। ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप एकदम अच्छी स्पीड, बहुत अच्छी बड़ी स्पीड पे जाएं। 80 वाली लिखिए, और लेकिन ट्रांसक्रिप्शन डेली कीजिए। हम आपको दे रहे हैं 80 वर्ड्स ए मिनट, इसमें लीगल वर्ड्स बहुत हैं। दूसरा, ये किसी भी आने वाले स्किल टेस्ट के लिए, जो अभी SSB का हो या SSC का या कहीं भी आपका स्किल टेस्ट होगा, उसमें आपको बहुत हेल्प करेगा। तो हम स्टार्ट करते हैं। 80 वर्ड्स ए मिनट, बी रेडी, स्टार्ट। The honorable member wants me to give my independent views. Let me assure him that my views have always been independent and they are dependent only on the question under discussion. The first thing I find is that the litigating public is totally disillusioned about the present system. Years roll by and the prospect of a decision is nowhere in sight. Once a decision is given, there is hope in his mind that he will get the fruits of judgment in his favor. But under the system which we have built here, the real difficulty for a successful litigant starts only after he gets a decision in his favor. Then there are series of appeals: the first appeal, the second appeal, the latter patent appeal, the appeal to the Supreme Court, and so on and so forth, so that when a matter comes to the Supreme Court, after it completes 21 years in the lower courts, I feel sometimes that the Supreme Court will dismiss it on the ground that it has failed to attain majority. The trouble starts when it comes before the Supreme Court. Even in admission matters, at least some of them do not reach them for over 2 years. Today I am going to speak about two courts, one the Supreme Court and the other the subordinate courts. The subordinate courts are very important because there, if the litigating public get the confidence that justice has been done to them, further processes of appeal could be avoided. But I find that their conditions are so poor that something has to be drastically done to see that they live a life of dignity, which is so essential for independently discharging the duties of their high office. There are one or two suggestions which I can make on this subject, which occupies a very broad canvas. One suggestion I would like to make to the government is this: kindly see that they are provided with real good accommodation at no cost or very little cost from the government itself. The difficulties of a judge start when he goes to Mofussil places and does not find accommodation. Then he has to be at the mercy of some landlord or others to get it. I think at every place where there is a seat of justice, government should provide very good accommodation for them. That itself will add to the dignity of judges. That itself will enhance the independence of subordinate judiciary. The second thing which I find is that there is really very inadequate staff for them. They have to hear the matters, record evidence, and then give their judgments. That is where the cases are built, where the cases are constructed, and I find that consistent with that or commensurate with it, there is no adequate staff available to the subordinate judges. The third thing which I may say is that there was a very welcome relief given to the judges of the High Courts and the Supreme Court when the Finance Minister, just before we closed our last session, announced a increase of rupees 9,000 in the emoluments of the judges of the High Courts and Supreme Court. That has been a very welcome relief, and a long standing demand has been partly met. But I still believe that what has been done for the High Court and the Supreme Court judges should also be done for the subordinate judges. The next point which I want to mention is that you should cut down the number of appeals. The society owes to its citizens is one fair trial and one fair appeal, and I would appeal to the Honorable Law Minister to follow with zest and enthusiasm the pruning process, the process to cut down the hierarchy of appeals, and at least let him give an assurance to this house that as long as he is the law minister, he will not introduce any bill, not even a single bill, which will provide for more than one appeal. Even the bills which came up last year provided for a stream of appeals. For example, the Acts of 1981 provided for setting up of the Customs Tribunal and the Excise Tribunal. These are the two things which I feel can be done for the subordinate judiciary. Then I come to the Supreme Court. Now, for the first time, I said in the beginning that I felt disturbed, and it is because of this respect for the judiciary is going down, partly because of the delay and the frustrating process by which justice is done. As somebody said earlier, this is a very famous saying to be quoted: justice delayed is justice denied. But now it is delayed to such an extent that it really amounts to denying it. Today we find that there are talks, there are open discussions to the effect that the Supreme Court judges are divided among themselves. It pains my heart, and, sir, I would take this opportunity to urge that a time has come when the Supreme Court must act with one voice. Stop